Welcome back. This is Heather Hope Reed, and as the Millionaire Manifestor, I don't even know how to say that. Welcome back. I think today's Wednesday, June 28th, 2023, and we have another day of a live session. Let me go back to my page. I just wanted to show that so it comes up as my cover photo. How are we doing today? Let me know if you're listening to the replay. Let me know if you're listening over or watching this video over on my YouTube channel. I am uploading these as much as I can on YouTube because, yeah, I have hundreds of videos over on YouTube. I used to do a daily podcast over there. I did it for about 9 months, and so I have hundreds of videos over there. Anyhow, how are we doing? Let me know who's here. We're just looking at this random page, aren't we? Okay, let's just go back to something to look at and read. So, welcome today, guys. I was asking for clarity. So, so here's one thing that when I work with business owners and entrepreneurs, they say that they don't have clarity or they don't know what to do. They're not inspired, blah, blah, blah. So I say this often, but how do you become inspired? You think like, or you either think like the person who is inspired. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Period. Right? We talked about this yesterday. Um, so what I do instead of saying I don't have any clarity, I don't know what to talk about. Right? This is what normal humans. Right? I talked about this yesterday. If you weren't on yesterday's call, when we're done here, go listen to the yesterday's call because it's one of the best ones I've done. Like I said that when I got off of it, I was like, that was really good. So, so because anyway, so what you do is you say, I have so much clarity, or you can ask for clarity. Like there's no like you can ask, you get what you ask for. But when you say I don't have any clarity, I don't know what to talk about. I'm never inspired. I don't feel like it. Blah blah blah. That's exactly what you get, right? What you say your reality is like you're the boss here. So if you were to say, and this is what regular humans do. So I have a lot of my own terminology that I use with my clients, and just to understand things, like regular humans are just those humans out there that don't they're not understanding that they're a reality creator. Like they're just going around just being human. And over here, we don't want to be like that anymore, right? We don't want to be a regular human who just takes life as it comes and says all these limiting things. What we are over here are powerful creators, and we say what it is that we want, and then we expect it to come. That's basically the point to get to. Say, okay, have the belief that whatever I want, I get, and I don't have to do anything for it. And even most people in manifestation world still believe, most people do still believe that you have to do something. It depends on what it is, but a lot of things you do not have to do anything but think. The A lot of actions that come from that are automatic. Like you don't even think about it. It's not like I was editing my a manifestation planner that I have in the manifesting zone. By the way, the link is down below. It's my $7 a month membership to get your mind right so you can manifest everything you want. But I was editing this manifestation planner. I obtained it. I bought it because I don't want to recreate the wheel because it's time consuming. And so I was editing this and I'm like, I had to delete entire sections of it because of the lack of knowledge that whoever created this planner, and most manifestation planners are like this. They'll say, okay, what's your dream, right? What's your vision? What's your goals? Whatever. And then it'll say, okay, what's the action steps to take to make that happen? what How are you going to do this now? Like these are the questions that these planners ask, and I'm sitting here like, well, that's not how this works. Like we don't know. We're humans. We don't know. We don't have the higher intelligence to know what we're going to do. What we all we have to do is just say what it is that we want and expect it to come. And either it's going to come to us just automatically, just completely out of the blue or ends up on your doorstep or someone gives it to you or you get a phone call, you get an email, whatever it is, like people will move, right? And things will happen and things come out of thin air 100%. Either that's going to happen or you're going to get an idea and you're just going to act on it because that's what we do, right? We get ideas and we act on them. That's how manifestation occurs. So to ask how is it going to happen, what are the action steps, what's the inspired action you're going to take, hell if I know, how would I know that, right? So if you ever see those in planners, disregard it. Well, the how can be, so I reworded some of it and been telling my clients to do this of the how part. How are you going to do this? Really, how are you going to maintain the end state? Are you going to meditate? Wonderful. Are you going to use affirmations? Well, I hope so, because affirmations are just thoughts. So I hope you're using thoughts because that's how we're creating so many things. Are you going to go take walks in the park? Are you going to play with your dog? Are you going to do all these things that help you relax and allow and receive? You know what I mean? Those are the things to do. That's the how. So if any manifestation person is like, well, how are you going to do that? Say, you know what? You don't understand. That's what I would say. So anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, so yeah, so I had to edit that. Let's get back to the original topic. Let's see who's here. Brandon, I love it. I love it. Thank you. Brandon says, so this is on YouTube as well. It's not live on YouTube, but I do upload it to YouTube. And like I said in the beginning, I have hundreds of videos on YouTube because I used to do a daily podcast over there, based upon my book, The Inspired Entrepreneur. So anyway, some of it is when I was really, or all of it's really when I was heavily into law of attraction and Abraham Hicks, which I still am. It's just different wording with law of assumption. I think it's pretty much the same stuff. It's just people have different interpretations and different language and different words. I kind of believe that. Anyway, Brandon says that's my pet peeve too. All the focus on action, action, action. Yeah, I had a client once. She might be listening to me. I have no idea. We're still friends. A few years ago, she came to me as a Bob Proctor graduated student of his, and I worked with her for a while. And she was just so ingrained. He's no longer here in physical form. Ingrained his students to take massive action. Okay, so massive action. This man was 80 something, 50 years in the field, 50 years of momentum of killing it, right? Like that man had it, right? When you know your power, when you have 50 years of momentum of knowing your power, you can take massive action. You can do so much and have it all turn into gold. You know what I mean? But when we're in this beginning stage of things, taking massive action is really not fruitful. It really isn't. And it's just, we don't have to take so much action. In fact, we don't really have to take much action except changing our thoughts, getting into a good feeling place, because why not, right? And allowing yourself to rest and release stress and to stop all the nonsense of work hard, hustle, right? And so that's what I'm about, of like helping people relax more and allowing the manifestation to come right in instead of now go take some action. No. Like the people that are like, well, you just can't sit on your couch. It depends on what it is. It really does depend on what it is. But if you think from the end, like we talked about yesterday, so if you wanted to be a YouTuber, so in business, you do have to take some action. Absolutely, right? There's some things that you have to take action if it involves something that you have to take action for, right? So if you wanted to become a YouTuber, you couldn't just not make YouTube videos, right? Like ever. You can't be a YouTuber without making YouTube videos. But the way to go about it is change your thinking about it. Like, I'm a YouTuber. I love making YouTube videos. And it's usually when you're doing something or wanting to do something you're passionate about, right? So if you're passionate about making videos, it wouldn't be work, right? Not usually. Not usually. So you would just say the things as if you were this YouTuber And then you would naturally get the ideas. You would be inspired. You'd have all these ideas, and then you'd want to take action on it. But eventually, you would have to make a YouTube video, right? So there is some action to take in certain circumstances, like in business. But if you just wanted money to come out of the blue, you can have that too. Oh, that rhymed. That's crazy. So if you wanted certain things, like manifesting people, they can just come to you. They call you, they text you. Manifesting money can just come to you without you having to leave your house. Like things like that, right? See, there's so many things that you don't have to take action, especially if you work on the beliefs that you don't have to take action. So you use, like, if you know that you have these hardcore beliefs of I have to work hard, right? Then you work on that. You affirm, like, no, things can come to me easily. You know, you could soften that up and change that belief so then things can come to you easily. Okay. Thank you. Sandra says, I love your approach and I have your book. Love it. Thank you so much. I actually haven't been posting it for the last few days. I have not felt inspired to do it. So I'm like, I thought, of course, eventually I would stop posting it daily, but I never think about it. And then one day I just didn't feel like it. Next day I didn't feel like it. And then I'm like, that's interesting. So I may do it again, but just may move on to something else. I have nothing planned. Well, no, that's not true. I have things planned, but all these little things, they're not planned. Everything is inspired action. I was working with a person last night in a group I'm in. And she's trying to follow. So let's say marketing, right? I'm in this program to create programs. And so this person is very successful. She uses ads though. So like half of her income goes to ads. And I disagree with that business model. So, because I love organic growth and organic reach, organic growth, which is what we're doing all the time, right? Our spiritual side, it's all organic. Like we're creating it all. So why not create your clients to see you or find you instead of having to go through jumping through a million hoops to get somebody to see your sales page or see your offer, right? So this one girl was like, well, she's frustrated. She's having all these issues of getting it done. There's so many pieces. And then she's like, I've seen this numerous times in this group. I'm like, or she's like, I don't understand. When I was just doing it, I created a membership and I just felt like when I felt like creating something and putting in the membership, I just did. And the first month I got all these people at this nice rate and it was so easy. And now over here, she's following this coach's plan. And she's like, there's so much to do. And I agree, there's so much to do. And she's like, and so I told her, I said she needed encouragement. I'm just like, well, take the rest that you need because we need to rest and not feel so bad about like not progressing. Because when we feel bad about where we are, right? We talked about this yesterday. Or maybe in one of my groups I talked about it, but it's just not productive. It's not helpful to feel bad about where we are, because then we're creating more of that state, right? We stay in that state. We're reality creators. We're not normal humans, that's for sure. And so we have to remember that whatever we're frustrated with in that moment, we're creating more frustration, more states of continuing in that state, right? Of being frustrated. So we have to switch it to, no, maybe I need a break. Of course, I go take a nap, go take a walk, say screw it for the night. I don't know. Whatever you need to do. Go find some chocolate. I don't know. Find something to do and get your mind off of it and do something pleasurable. And then say, you know what? It's all good. I have lots of clarity. I love my business. I love working with my clients, all that. And then it moves the juices, right? And then you step in that state because like the title of this video is whatever you say your reality is, right? So if you say you're frustrated, well, guess what? You're frustrated. Well, you are frustrated because you said you are. So you're just going to continue down that road. But if you just stopped yourself and just know, well, whatever I say is. So yeah. So I told her This woman. I said, you know, the funny thing is that everything works. Now I'm in this group with like 1,500 people that are probably, um, they're mostly all regular humans, thinking that everything's outside of themselves. Right? These are just regular people, and there's plenty of manifestation coaches in there that still don't understand, and they think that everything's outside of them. Like everything is like this offer has to be perfect, the sales page has to be perfect, everything has to be perfect. They have to go through 20 steps to sell, and all these objections and all this craziness. Right? That's how humans think. And so she's bringing up the fact that, well, I didn't do it this way and I was very successful. And I'm like, there's a million ways to get where you want to go, and everything works. Now, I know. So I'm at the point where I don't care if people push back on my beliefs because I know. I know what I know. So I could care less what people think anymore. So I said it. I said, you know, there's more, every way works. So her way worked and this way works. I said, well, you have to choose what you resonate with. If you resonate with this, then keep going. If you don't, tweak it to how it feels best for you. What makes sense to you? Now, if that goes against the grain of the group, well, whatever. I understand. Like if somebody was in my group telling my people the opposite of what I'm teaching, I would be, no, that's not happening, because this is reality creation and I know that this is it. So anyway, so I said, what you were doing before was through inspiration, which was perfect. And that's why it worked. And now she's feeling bogged down because it's going against her grain. It's going against her beliefs of like, it's got to be easier than this, right? Have you ever felt that way? It's got to be easier than this. Well, if you feel that way and have that thought, then you know that it is. It is easier than this. You don't have to jump through hoops. All you have to do, I told her, I said, ultimately comes down to your mindset of whether or not you're going to succeed. And then I said something else and I said, I know people will disagree with me, but I have the evidence to prove it. And she was just thanking me all over the place because she's like, I feel so much lighter from your comment. I feel so much better. I'm like, cool. Awesome. Okay. So just reminding her that what she was doing before was great. She doesn't have to follow someone else's plan or someone else's path, right? If someone else's path doesn't feel right, don't go there. It's not your path. It bumps up against some of your beliefs. That happens to me all the time in the business world. All the time. Now, I love Tim Ferriss's perspective, massively successful person, right? He wrote the 4-Hour Work Week. The first chapter of that book is excellent, by the way. I don't remember the rest, but I remember that first chapter. And he does the opposite. And this is what I've always done, is the opposite of what everyone else does. I'm a rebel. I'm a maverick. I'm whatever. I've always been an outlier. So I always do the opposite of what everyone else does because I don't like following people, because I don't think many people know where they're going. Do you ever feel that way? So anyway, so you can make anything right, or you can make anything work. If you believe in your power, you can make anything work. You just have to believe in it. So if there's something about it that you don't believe, whatever it is, then switch it up. So anyway, so we encounter these things all the time in business with my business clients of how to, basically how to manifest clients, customers, all that, right? And it's just, it's the same thing as everything else. What is it that you want? And line up with the thoughts, right? I love working with all my clients. I'm fully booked. I have so many clients I don't even know what to do with. Like whatever the end result is, if you want to be massively busy, which means very successful usually, right? If you're really busy with clients, then you're doing something really right. And you're probably bringing in the income and all that stuff. But if you don't want to do that, that's fine too. Okay. So if you hold all the power, You are the power. Like you're literally the power. You're the on and off button of your reality. So this affirmation right here. Oh, this is so funny because this is a Dear Universe affirmation. This is a Sarah Prout. Let me know if you follow Sarah Prout. But so you can say, especially when you really know your power, you can say, my dreams are manifesting into reality before my eyes. And guess what? It's true. If you don't know your power or believe in your power, this is just another positive statement that you don't really think holds much, right? Because I used to be there. I didn't know my power. So I would just see these things. Oh, well, that's nice. You know, I didn't know that it literally can be like that. So I compare my page just out of curiosity sometimes. And I showed the back end of my page yesterday just to show that I affirm what I affirm for my page comes true without me doing anything. And so Sarah Proud is one of the people that I kind of follow once in a while, particularly this page, the Dear Universe page. And so some of her quotes I take from her page because they're good, and I will post them like an hour after she posts them. I typically don't do that with anyone. I typically keep it and then it gets posted a few days later. Like I don't like copycatting anyone, but I did this on a couple times on hers. We have around the same amount of followers on this page, the Dear Universe page. I have like 45,000. She has about 47, 48,000 at the time that I did this. And so I did this because I was noticing her page doesn't have that much reach or not much interaction. You know, like she would post something and it gets like 30 likes on it, or maybe 100 at the most, or just a handful. And I'm like, and it's very steady like that. So to me, and I look at a lot of pages, a lot of manifestation pages and then regular pages, and I look at them and I look at the follower count and I see if it makes sense. My page doesn't make sense. And why doesn't it make sense? Because I have massive reach and a lot of engagement for 45,000 or less followers because I affirm for it. I put my power along with all my posts. Like with my posts, I put my power with it. I don't just post without thinking about it. I think about it, about my page having millions of followers, about my posts going viral all the time. That's my power. And then I post. And when I see a post that has some traction, like some really good traction to it, I'll look at it and say, this is a viral post. And guess what happens? It goes crazy. You have that same power. You just have to know it. And you just play around with it. You test it with little things. So I can tell that Sarah Prout does not do that with her page. I can tell, and I can tell that with a lot of people on a lot of things, that they don't put any positive words about their page or their posts. You can look at all the pages. It's all like that. So the ones that are really, really busy typically either have, and even with like pages that have millions of followers, I have better reach and better engagement than pages with millions of followers because I intentionally affirm for it. I command it. I claim it, right? So you can do that with everything. It takes a little bit of momentum. Like it didn't happen overnight, but it happened very quickly. You just have to stay a little consistent with whatever it is that you want daily. And something like a Facebook page, it's not something you need to affirm all day long. It's ultimately not that important, really, compared to, something else. But something to affirm a few times a day. I have millions of followers. My posts go viral. Sure enough, that's what happens. And the more I talk about it, the more it happens. Just like I've got another one. You get what you think about. It's not tricky at all. You get what you think about. You get what you think about. You have the power. You have the power to consciously decide what it is that you want to think about. And then you think about it and you get more of that. It's that simple. So if you had a Facebook page and you're like, nobody ever likes my posts, nobody ever even sees my posts. I hear this all the time. A while back, a few years ago, I honestly thought about just specializing in Facebook growth, organic growth, because I call myself the organic queen as well. So that's a nice little title. But but I'm like, what would I even teach? Because it's literally this. You know what I mean? I can't create a program, like a full fledged program out of one thing. I know it takes people a while to understand, to fully come into their belief about themselves, right? That's a whole process. But in my mind, I'm like, all you have to do is affirm for it, guys. That's it. So anyway, it's hard for me to create a whole program just to get to that point. Like, to me, it just seems silly, but it's not. So I created the manifesting zone to solve a problem. What's the problem? All the people that don't understand that all their thoughts are important. I see a problem in my community. I see a problem within my own clients. I see this problem. Well, that's a story, right? Listen to my story that I'm saying. I could clear that up, but, you know, I like having a business too. So the problem is that most people don't fully understand, well, first of all, their power, but they fully don't understand that all their thoughts have potential to manifest. So everything's created already, right? Creation is finished. All you're doing is summoning it into your 3D reality by the way that you're thinking, your focus, your attention to it. So everything's created. So there's endless possibilities at any moment. And the people that I talk to, a lot of them, well, let me tell you all the dramas of my life. Let me tell you all the disasters that are going on in my life right now. Let me tell you about my ex. Let me tell you about my current. Let me tell you about my baby's daddy, number 1, 2, and 3. Let me tell you about my shitty job. Let me tell you about all these things, right? It's typically the entire person's world is is just mess. It's a mess. Why? Because of messy thinking, right? It's typically the like brand new clients that I see, same exact story of every area of their life is a disaster. Well, that's why I do what I do, because we can fix all areas of your life at one time. We don't have to go one by one necessarily. All it is cleaning up your thoughts. First of all, understanding that your thoughts are so powerful that when you're sitting here telling me all this stuff, you continue down that same path. If you just stop, first of all, stop talking about it. But I understand you need to tell me. There was a while that I was just like, please don't tell me anything. Don't tell me anything. Just tell me what you want. And we're going to focus only on that. And then it was hard to maintain that. But so getting to the point of my entire life is a disaster, basically, is what I hear. And so I'm like, okay, you're not understanding. First of all, and I get it because I was right there. So I understand the problem. I understand where I wasn't seeing it. So I'm showing other people what they're not seeing, exactly what I didn't see. So the manifesting zone was created for that. $7 a month. It's right there. So, and the link is in the comment section, and you get lessons and worksheets, and you get me every week. So, but truly understanding that your thoughts are really important. And so I didn't really fully get it until I got into Neville Goddard. Let me know if you're a reader or follower of Neville. I honestly wasn't getting the Abraham message. Now, I years ago when I got into Abraham, I swear all my clients called me the Abraham Whisperer because they said, you translate Abraham so well. I'm like, well, great. I had a really great understanding of Abraham. What I didn't understand is that all my thoughts really mattered until I got into the mental diet portion of Neville Goddard's work. And I was like, oh, got it. Oh, shit. That's what the issue is. Oh, my stories. Oh, all the things I think about throughout the day. Oh, crap. Okay, let me fix this. Let me clean myself up here. Let's clean this mind of mine. Let's clean up my mouth a bit. You know, like all the things I say to people or myself. Let's clean all that up. Clean mental diet. Your thoughts have potential to manifest. Your thoughts, because there's no, I mean, like I said yesterday, like if you manifested everything that you thought about, you'd be in, that would be a big headache, right? So it's really the dominant thoughts. Now, once in a while, absolutely, you just manifest something that you think about because there's zero resistance and it typically probably won't hurt you. Usually. Usually. But occasionally it does. Oh, excellent. Oh, that's right, Sheila. You got the complete reader, right? Excellent. That thing is big. Excellent. So yeah, like every page is amazing and there's like 800 pages and it's just crazy. So all your thoughts have potential. And you know, I hear a lot of coaches, I even hear I think Abraham say this. They're like, "We don't want you to be afraid of your thoughts." And I'm like, "I want you to be afraid of your thoughts." Sorry. Because what do we do when we're afraid of something? We stop doing it, hopefully. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want you to be scared to death of your thoughts. Don't do that. But you know what I mean? Like fear, like for me to think that, oh crap, if if I'm that powerful and I'm thinking these crappy thoughts, holy shit, I need to clean my act up ASAP. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of like, I, how do people change? Right? People tend to change when there's some fear behind it, right? They're fearful of something. Like a lot of times when people are diagnosed with something not so great, a lot of times they get their act in gear, whatever their doctor says to do, okay, okay. Or they're like, "Oh, you're going to be diabetic soon. You better get your act together." And sometimes that fear helps people, right? It helps them get their act in gear. I don't believe in any of that, but you know what I mean? Like fear can really help and it helps me. Like, okay, I get very serious with my mental diet when I'm like, shit, I don't want crap to manifest anymore. You know what I mean? So I think fear is great. Like yesterday I was talking about I believe anger is better than depression, right? It's working up the emotional guidance scale. In anger, you can manifest all kinds of things when you're angry. It's wild. Like good things. If you're curious, go back to yesterday's call when I got angry at the garage door opener. I got angry with it and commanded it to work, and then it worked. I was like, well, good, see? But it really doesn't matter. You can feel any state that you are feeling and still manifest. You're manifesting all the time. Just what are your thoughts doing? Right? So the problem for a lot of people, they just don't get, well, two things, right? They don't understand their power. They thought it was outside of them. They thought that they were waiting for something to come to them, like waiting for, I don't even know, waiting for the the magic wand to hit their head and be like, okay, you're next. You get what you want. Waiting for an outside source to bring it to them. When it's you that you're creating your reality, it's coming from you. It's coming from your thoughts, from your stories, from your self-concept, from everything that you're believing to be true. It's coming from you. Your reality is just a reflection of what's going on inside your head. It's not like, okay, well, I'm praying for this and I'm just waiting for God to grant it to me. You are God. You are the creator. You are the one. You're the one who gives it to you. You're the only one. So you have to give that to yourself. Like, I am worthy. I'm deserving. This is what I want. Of course I can have anything I want. So Sandra says, we are our own savior and we are the solution. Yep, Neville absolutely changed my life. Yes. You know, back when I was solely Abraham. I had a client come to me for a while and he was very big on Neville. And he was really just kept asking me, are you reading Neville? I'm like, no. I was just so like, no, why would I do that? Like, you kind of have to listen to people sometimes when they're really urging you to do something, right? It's okay. It all worked out. But things probably could have worked out sooner. So, what else? What else? Do I have any other? No, I don't have any other quotes here. I pulled up a few. Okay, so your reality is what you say it is, right? So, what are you saying your reality is? That's the big question, right? What are you saying in every day? What are you saying when you wake up in the morning? What are you saying when you're getting ready for work? What are you saying when you get into traffic? What are you saying when you get around your coworkers? What are you saying to your best friend? What are you saying to yourself? Whatever you're saying in every single moment is what your reality is. It is in that moment, slash, it's becoming that any moment. Like you're shifting billions of times a second, and you're shifting based upon where you're focused on your thoughts. You're shifting all like constantly. This is why your thoughts are so important. This is why this is why having that clean mental diet, focusing on what it is that you want, focusing so much so that your life can change very quickly. So how do you change your life quickly? That should be tomorrow's topic. But how do you change your life quickly? You focus intensely, like all the time, on where you want to go. You focus as much as you can. You say the new statements. You live from the end. You do that day in and day out, all day as much as you can. You can become obsessive over it for a short while. Because change is slow typically because people don't focus a whole lot on the things that they want, right? Here and there things you focus. Let's say oh, one of the common things that people were when they come to me telling their disaster of a life, right? Amazing people. I've never had a bad client. That sounds terrible, but I love every single person that I've ever spoken to. They have been amazing people. Um, because I get to say that too. Just like my husband, most amazing man in the world, like that. Like whatever you focus on is what you get. But if you focus on it before it comes, guess how it's going to come? It's going to come how you want it to be. And then then the affirmations are like natural, right? It's natural for me to say that my husband's so amazing because he is. He came in that way. I expected that. He came in that way and he's always been that way. And it gets better and better because I keep affirming or I keep saying it because it's true. So, same with my clients. So, one of the common things they were coming in with is, well, I do my affirmations in the morning, right? I'm like, okay, in the morning? Yeah. Okay, like how many times? Well, like once or twice. I'm like, okay. And so I'm like, okay, so how many hours to sleep? How many hours do you sleep a day, a night? Well, whatever, 6, 8. I'm like, okay, so the other hours of the day, what are you thinking about? Minus the few minutes that you're doing your affirmations, right? All of the rest of the time of the day matters. That's my point, right? All the waking hours make all the difference. Okay, we got some comments here. Let's see. Brandon says, what's the line between attraction and self delusion? I know some people who really seem to believe their huge desire is around the corner, and then it's 2 years later and nothing has happened. Well, it's all a delusion, right? um, so if it's taking time for someone to manifest something that there's beliefs in there. There's so going on my own experience as well, but like if something's taking a while, it's a few things. One is there's probably some beliefs in there that are hindering that to come in fully. There's possibly telling people that don't believe what they're, you know what I mean? Like, so if you have something really big and so most people would push back on that, it's not beneficial to tell people, right? Because if you tell people, they're going to reflect back your if you have any doubts, they're going to reflect back doubts. So it's not a full, you know what I mean? We never know what's really going on within somebody too. So, but this is all a delusion. When you study like schizophrenia, it's just, it's wild because our brain, because I worked with schizophrenics for 12 years as a therapist, and it's interesting. When you really study what they have studied with the brain around that, and also like multiple personality disorder, it's very fascinating what our brain does. And, me, I don't believe it's a mental illness anymore once I got into this work because I think it's just reality creation. And then some people go to extremes with it in their mind, and then doctors labeled it. So anyway, that's from my experience on both ends. But I think it's all a delusion. It's also a delusion to believe that the worst is going to happen too. Right? Anyway, but when it takes something a while, there's stuff there that's going on. There's something's going on. You know what I mean? Like there's not enough belief in it, or there's too much resistance or limiting beliefs. Something's going on in their mind that we don't know about. It's hard to say, right? Sandra says, I like when you talked earlier about ease and no action. What are your inner conversations about making money with no efforts through your business or other sources? I will affirm that money comes to me really easily. I make up a lot of scenarios of, I had this one exercise with one of my groups of creating a new crazy story every day. Of, say, I made up a story one day of like, well, I took my dog out for a walk and he went around a tree and I couldn't get him to come back around because I call him Snoopy sometimes because he's like Snoopy. He's like snoops around. And I couldn't get him out from behind the tree, and I go over to see what his deal is, and there's a duffel bag of like $500,000. I think there's stuff like that. So I had my group, the Powerful Creator Society, create a new story every day of like like what we would think is outlandish or something that is crazy, or not crazy, but something that would be really cool to happen and outside of any of our manifestations that we're working on. You know what I mean? So like new stuff. Because whatever you can think or imagine can happen. So I like creating all kinds of interesting scenarios all the time. Because to me, I kind of am like, let's just throw spaghetti at the wall sometimes. Like make up stuff. Just make up stuff you've never thought about before and just see what manifests. Because so often we get stuck in the things that we want, and we're so focused on it, which is great. But that sometimes if we just made up something new, that new thing would be easier because there's no resistance around it. Does that make sense? So, but I will affirm like money comes to me easily. Money is easy for me. I don't have to work. I don't have to lift a finger. That's something I write in my notebook. I don't have to lift a finger to have money or to have more money, to manifest money. Money just comes to me. I know a lot of success stories of people who manifested money just into their accounts, which then I eventually found a quote from Abraham saying that could happen. Then I knew for sure it was real. for real. That if we didn't think, and Bashar has said it too, that if you don't think that you have to go through all these hoops, same thing with marketing, same thing with sales pages and offers and all this craziness, like same exact, it doesn't matter what it is. There's not one area that's different than the other area to manifest. They all manifest the same. So they've all said that if you didn't have to think that you had to jump through all these hoops to get the money, you wouldn't have to jump through all these hoops to get the money. Does that make sense? That I do have a quote. I have to find it. I know it's on the page, but it's been months since I posted it, and it needs to be posted like weekly. Of Abraham saying similar that the money could just be deposited into your account. You take that to the bank. So what happens when? Because I know people who this has happened to. It's happened to me, but in smaller amounts. That money was just the number. Like I see my checking account and other accounts that I have as numbers on a screen, and I don't believe any of this is really real. It's just like a delusion or an illusion, right? So I think money is just numbers on a screen, and those numbers can change up or down depending on what I want, right? So, um, so what do we do when money manifests? Well, I've heard a lot of, or into your account, right? I've heard a lot of people, or a few people that have called the bank to see what it's about, and the bank doesn't even know, which is great. But they're like the regular humans out there that this happens to, right? Like we've seen the news articles of like, oh, so, like one was a crypto account that millions got deposited in too. And it becomes this news story and it becomes like a lawsuit occasionally and it becomes like the person has to pay it back and all this craziness, right? That's what normal humans do. What we do over here is we accept every manifestation and we take it and we don't like because everything is made up, right? We make all of this up. So you're making everything up by the stories that you have. So you make your stories, make them up in the front end, right? Of, well, I manifest money into my account. It just directly gets deposited into my account. No questions asked. It's mine, right? You affirm that if that's something you want. Then eventually when money gets deposited into your account, you accept it. And you don't go through the whole like, oh my God, I'm going to get in trouble. Oh my God, that's just a story. And if you say that story, it will become your story. Does that make sense? So regular humans just they create the manifestation, and then they put themselves into trouble with that same manifestation. Humans are doing this constantly. They create the drama, or they create well, everybody's creating their own drama, but they create the story that they want, and then they create the drama around the story. Does that make sense? It's wild. But you don't have to. I mean, so watch your affirmations. Like I said, I got rid of the affirmation of money making opportunities come easily to me because I'm like, I've got enough opportunities at the moment. Like I don't want to do because in my mind I'm thinking that's more work. Now opportunities could be different things as well, but that's just not an affirmation that I want to stick with. You have to watch those affirmations because so often they are literal. So it's like, no, money just comes to me easily. Money just comes to me effortlessly. Money just gets deposited into my account. I find money. People give me money. Checks come in the mail. Stuff like that. Affirm those things a few times a day. I don't have to lift a finger. I am independently wealthy. I am so rich. I'm so wealthy. I have so much money. And money will just come to you. I don't have to work hard. Work on those beliefs though, because if you have the beliefs like that, you really have to dial in on affirmations, new thoughts, right? Affirmations that will help ease that limit, that belief. It'll like basically supersede it, right? It'll override it. So if you have been hustling and all of that and believing that you have to work harder, then that's your reality. But if you don't want to work harder and make more money, then you have to be like, no, I don't even have to work at all. How about that idea? How about I'm just independently wealthy? How about I just have money? How about I'm an instant millionaire? How about all kinds of wild stories that I can come up with? That I have a long lost cousin worth millions, that I'm the only one and they gave me all their money. Like all kinds of wild stories you could create. Throw the spaghetti against the wall, see what sticks, honestly. And you can let it go. You don't have to like repeat it all the time. You can create new stories every day, bask in that feeling for a little bit, and then move on with your day. Create another story or the same story. If you really like a story or some variation, add to it and then bask in that feeling. Like, that's really cool. That's awesome. I'm excited. Whatever. And then move on with your day. Like, do the stuff that you do. But you can use affirmations like this that's on the screen. Any of these, because it is what it is what you say it is. My dreams are manifesting into reality before my eyes. It's a little wordy. I get to have anything I want. I get to have everything I want. I always get what I want. Things just come to me easily. Create the new belief that you want. Like, what are the, like I used to teach like rules, creating rules in your business, creating rules of your life. Like in business, I've had a couple of rules for the last many years since I've been a coach of I never have to have a sales call to sell anything. I don't care what the price is. I never have to get on the phone to sell anything. People just instantly know they want to work with me. I've never taken a sales call. I've never had to. The other one is I never have to reach out to people. Like cold messaging and shit like that. Like it annoys me, so there's no way I would ever do it. So people reach out to me. People reach out to me. Clients reach out to me to hire me. And that's been the rules since almost day one. Whatever sales coaches and marketing coaches say, I'm just like, whatever. Last night I had this idea. I told my husband, I'm like, you know what? I think would be really fun. Because this is while I was talking to that girl in that group about doing things differently and it's harder. Talking about my page, I said, I would love to ask like 10 different Facebook organic marketing, not even organic marketing, Facebook marketing experts. Like, just ask the question. I would ask the question, how do I grow my Facebook group or Facebook page? Right? I would love to hear the answers. Would love it because they would throw so many hoops at me. They would tell me all these things to do. I could Google it and see what it says, but they would tell me all these things like post in other groups and, well, obviously ads, duh, like they would throw all these things, or they'd probably all tell me the same thing, right? Very similar ideas. And it would require so much work, right? It would require work beyond the basic posting something, right? So it's like, you mean I can't just say what it is I want and expect it to happen? Like, is that a marketing approach? No, that would never work. Why would that work? How would that work? How would that work of just you saying what it is that you want? Like, how would that reach people? How would that even, you know what I mean? It'd be really fun to hear it. It would annoy the crap out of me, but it would be fun. But because that's all I've done is just say what it is I want and expect it to happen. So remember that. Like if you're in business or any sort of area like that, remember it doesn't have to be as hard as people make it out to be. Remember who you're following. Remember who you're listening to. You're listening to regular humans who have no idea how the spiritual world works, right? You don't need all of those things. But if you have strong beliefs that you need all of those things, it's going to be an issue for you. Right? So you either go along with what they're telling you to do, or you work on your beliefs. It's the same thing with dieting. Same exact thing. Diet, same exact thing. A diet is just like a marketing plan. Go through all these hoops and you're going to lose weight, right? It's worked for all these people. Like every marketing plan has worked for someone. That's why they're teaching it usually, right? So it works for people. Diets, all the diets in the world work. That scared the crap out of me. Thank you, Sean. Whew, I had no idea what that was. Thank you. You woke me up. That's good. I wasn't sleeping, but woo, that got me. So a diet, right? You follow a diet. A diet only works if you believe it's going to work. I mean, sometimes people will lose weight even though they don't believe they will. There's something there that makes them lose weight. It's not the calories in and calories out. That is absolute human thinking. That's the scientists' belief, right? Well, we're not we're gods of our reality. What we say goes. So why do there's people, we know all kinds of like massively skinny people who say their metabolisms are really fast. They can eat 20,000 calories a day. Oh, it's their metabolism. Well, guess what? If you affirmed 50 times today and tomorrow and the rest of this week and next week too, probably. That's probably all it would take right there. My metabolism is so fast. Well, you're probably going to get really hungry. That's why I don't really like the affirmation, because typically when your metabolism is fast, right? That's another belief, but that's my belief. Then you eat a lot, right? But then you lose a lot. So I'm like, So if you would affirm 50 times today and the rest of this week and next week too, my metabolism is so fast. Guess what will happen to you? I guarantee you. Your metabolism would speed up. You would start losing weight. You could eat anything you want and lose weight. You would lose weight, basically. That's it. Go listen to somebody. Like, I'm kind of a follower, fan of like Jeffree Star, just for instance, because he's so skinny. But listen to him. Watch him eat. He eats frosting out of the container and all the sweets in the world. And he's like, oh, I can eat anything. My metabolism is so fast. Listen to those people. Follow what they do. You can eat anything you want. Don't eat what they're eating unless you want to. But you know what I mean? Take a look at what they're saying while they're eating, nonetheless. But you say it many times more to prime the pump. This works for everything, guys. How you manifest one thing is how you manifest every single thing. You don't need a marketing plan that's 20 steps long. You don't need a diet that you have to not eat for 3 days. Like, you don't need any of that. All you need is to change your mindset. That's all you have to do. It's all the same. Whatever it is that you want, you choose the thoughts that person would be saying. So if you need to go find the person who matches that, like I just said, Jeffree Star, go watch him eat crap. Well, I hate labeling food anymore, because that's all the same. But he eats whatever he wants. Lots of sugar. All the time. Anything he wants. And he says it all the time. I have such a fast metabolism. I can eat anything I want. Say those words if that's your goal. Then you can eat anything you want. You're hungry all the time, probably. And then you're losing weight like crazy. Right? It's all the same. That was funny. That noise was I've never heard that noise before, so that's why it startled me. So, decide what it is that you want, and think like the person who already has it. That's the secret. That's the goal. That's everything. So, the problem, what people do and don't do, they don't do it consistently. This is because I know I don't either. On certain topics, I slack off. But it's all about being persistent and consistent. Doing this daily. Because if you were that person, you would be thinking these thoughts daily, like all the time, right? That's how you shift, and then your 3D conforms, like it catches up. Your body catches up. Your 3D conforms, like it catches up. Your business catches up. So for like 2 weeks, you can say, I am so busy with clients. It's insane. And you don't have any clients. Like you don't have any. But let's say for the next 2 weeks, many times throughout the day, you step into that future self, basically, right? You're trying to shift to that person who has all the clients, who has the following, who has all these things, right? All the money. You have to shift into that person's thinking first. Maybe a couple weeks at most. Like, honestly, it doesn't take that long. But you have to be consistent and you have to be persistent. So you can't wake up the next day and say it didn't work. I don't have any clients today. See, it's not working. Nobody's watching my videos. Nobody's commenting. Nobody wants me. No, you can't do that. Go back to the clean mental diet. Go back to what it is that you want. I am massively successful. I have so many clients. I'm so busy with coaching calls. You keep doing it. You persist until, this is Neville Goddard. You persist until it hardens into fact. Abraham Hicks. You can make anything true. It's persisting in it that makes it true. Nobody does this. Like nobody. Most people do not do this. Most people give up after 3 days. Just like a diet, right? It's exactly the same thing. People give up on diets all the time because it's, well, this sucks. Most of the time, people they can't be on a diet because their mindset. They're still having the mindset of like, oh my God, this sucks. I don't like not eating my favorite foods. I'm being deprived. I'm starving. They're not acting like the person that they want to be. Diets are fine if your mindset is set, right? I've lost over 100 pounds 3 times in my life from diets in the past. And the only times that the diets worked was when my mindset was in check, when I was ready, when I was like, yes, I was excited, and I was all in. And as long as I stayed all in with my mindset, with my mind, I lost the weight. If I didn't, it was freaking the hardest thing I've ever done. It was really hard, And I knew. I knew when my mind was wobbling while being on a diet, it's a struggle. And I really thought, you know what? I don't want to struggle like this. So I'm going to go off the diet because it's really, really hard, right? And I don't like hard things. I don't like things being difficult. So I'm like, no, I'll try again when my mind is set right. Otherwise, it's just, why struggle, right? I'd rather go back to the drawing board and have a stronger mindset and start again when I'm ready. Because the last thing I want to do is struggle with anything. But most people quit everything after a day or 2 or 3, maybe a week, if they're not seeing results, right? If people go on a diet and they don't see results, what do? Typically, they stop. Typically, they're saying it's not working. It doesn't work for me. My body is resistant. Blah, blah, blah. All the excuses, right? If the diet probably didn't work, well, it didn't work because the person didn't believe it was going to from the beginning. Because you're the God of your reality. Whatever you say goes. So if you went on a diet and said, well, I don't know, last time I went on a diet, I lost nothing. So I don't think I'm going to lose anything. We've heard it. We've all said it. You know what I mean? We all know people who have mindsets like this. It's the most annoying thing in the world, but we all can relate because we were all there. I think we were all there. I was there for most of my life. So I give people grace as much as I possibly can because I know that I was just there not too long ago. But I also don't like being around it because it's that whole victim mentality, right? Of like, nothing ever works for me. I get it though. I get it. Really, really get it. So, do you guys have any questions before I jump off? I have some things I got to do. Join me in the Manifesting Zone. $7 a month. You can get in lifetime membership for like $77. Lifetime of the membership. And you get a bonus coaching call with me. So get in while that's still available. And then you get all my lessons and my all of my planners and worksheets, all the goodies that I give in that program. You can cancel anytime, but you probably won't want to because it's the most affordable. And I thought about this for a brief second yesterday of the price. Now I made it $7 to make it the lowest possible thing I can make it for people. So it doesn't lack value, that's for sure. It's just, I like making my services more affordable. In the past, things cost a lot more to work with me. But over time, I've manifested situations and like manifested houses and cars and all these things without money that you can manifest lifestyles without a lot of money. And I like giving really great value for a really great price. So anyway, and I also do private coaching. I have a lot of different ways to work with me. You can check it out on my website. Okay. Anything else? Yes, it's a private Facebook group where I go live every Thursday, 5 p.m. Pacific time. Almost every Thursday. It's 3 Thursdays a month right now. I go live. You can ask questions, all of that. And, but you get access to everything immediately. All the replays. We've only done 2 calls so far because it's a brand new group. I'm putting my link in the description or in the comments right now. Give me one moment of all the ways you can work with me. So, yes, it's a private Facebook group. I post in there almost daily different things. I do have my free Facebook group. I've had it since I started the Millionaire Manifestor, but I'm never in there. I share my posts from the Millionaire Manifestor, but I just have not felt inspired at all to do anything in that group. There's like 7,300 people in there, and so really, it's my memberships are the way to work with me, unless you get into private coaching with me. So anyway, any other questions? Anything before? I know my husband's probably going to walk in the door any minute now. If not, I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow's a really busy day, but I will be back tomorrow at 3 o'clock. I have 2 other group coaching calls tomorrow, but this is for a limited time. Whenever I feel like not doing this, then I won't. But the 3 p.m. live calls on this page, I'm doing them until I don't want to do them anymore, if that makes sense. Because I like, oh, you know what? So I think somebody just joined. I mentioned this in yesterday's, let me think if I can think. Let's think, Heather, or let's have some clarity. I had mentioned that on the page, on the whatever. I don't necessarily like the word sales page, so we call it the sign up page. I like to name things differently. The sign up page to get into the manifesting zone. I didn't realize this when I created it, but you can grab the lifetime membership, which means lifetime of the membership, right? And I have another membership. It's just over a year old. It's called the Powerful Creator Society. That one is more advanced. It's like when you really get solid in your thoughts, stories, and self-concept, which is what I focus on in the manifesting zone. When you get really solid with that, you can, if you want, kind of graduate and get into the Powerful Creator Society. That's where we go into ultimate self-concept. Like you feel so freaking good about yourself that you walk in a room and you know you're like the VIP. And then we also get into revision, so revising your past, creating new, timelines of your past, all that stuff. And then manifesting people, which I think is one of the most important things ever to learn. But you can't do all of that if you haven't mastered. You can, but it's so hard, guys. I talked about this yesterday, how I know people who are manifesting SPs, specific people, stuff like that. But it's difficult. Been there, done that. Difficult if your mental diet and all those stories and everything is not really in a solid place. So if you're all over the place and then you're trying to manifest a person, it can get really hard and really messy. Very emotional, very, it can be very difficult. So this is why I separated these two like I did. One is more advanced, the other one is a beginner level. So you can go from the beginner to more advanced level and then really become that powerful creator. So anyway, long story short, you can get in lifetime membership of the Manifesting Zone for $77. With that, you get a bonus coaching call with me, a private coaching call for $77. It's an insane value. Also, though, on that page, you can also elect to add on another coaching call with me for $47. I forgot when I did all of this that value right there, you can get 2 coaching calls and lifetime membership of the member of the membership for just like $10 more or $12 more than it's actually $13 more. $13 more than my just booking one call with me. It's a massive value. So I was saying that. So anyway, somebody just grabbed it. That was my point. That somebody just grabbed all of the things on the sign-in sheet. God, I think I'm done talking. But the sign-in page, you can grab all of that. And I think when you're in my memberships, because all of my a lot of my private coaching clients come from my memberships, because it helps with really driving home points, making things clearer. So I love working privately with my members from my memberships, because the combination of private once in a while sometimes with the membership really solidifies things. So anyway, if you want to grab it, go ahead, go to the page. Let's see. Sean, that was you. Awesome. I'll get you in the group when I get out of here. Jackie, you're welcome. Nathaniel, do you go by Nathan by any chance? I always want to say Nathan. You asked, how does Voxer coaching work? What's the advantages of that service? Most of my private coaching is Voxer, and I absolutely love it. Advantages, well, one of the advantages is time zones. Like, I have over 100 countries that follow me. Like, one of my previous clients caught my live yesterday, and I think she just moved to Hungary. She was in Germany, and when I started working with her privately a few years ago, it was really difficult to find time because the time zones were insane for us. But anyway, besides that, Voxer is, anytime you have a question, you just pick up your phone, click on Voxer, and you can leave me a voice message or a text. And what I do is I check it twice a day, typically Monday through Friday. Well, typically it's Monday through Friday now. I check it before noon or by noon Pacific time, and then another time the rest of the day at some point. So I check my messages twice a day, which is so much more than most people. And I answer questions or whatever it is that you have going on, that you need guidance, coaching, questions answered, then I go ahead and answer it either through text or through voice. I typically use voice if I'm in a private room, like there's no one around me. But it's like on demand. So it's one of the services that like all my clients love, and it's pretty affordable. And I've had clients that do it ongoing. It's month to month. You can do it ongoing or just 1 month. And it's just like having me in your back pocket at any time to answer your questions and, get coaching. It's so much, in my opinion, it's so much better than having that like hourly call once a week or whatever it is. Because in that 1 hour or whatever, you're trying to get everything in that hour sometimes, and then you forget things or whatever. I love in the moment conversations. You know how you have a friend. I have a couple of friends that I do this with. I'll like, you just randomly text them something that you have on your mind. Same thing. And then it could be any time of the day or night, which is really good for out of the country clients. Nathaniel. Okay, perfect. I'm glad to know that. So, any other questions, guys? Flexibility. Like if you don't want to be stuck with, like I do a lot of private coaching calls though, right now still. Um, if you don't want to be completely tied down to having, for a while, I got rid of private coaching and just did Voxer to completely free up my calendar for a while because I wanted that. And so it's a great way to free up your calendar and just really live um, without that calendar telling you what to do. Eventually, as my members, like I have 3 more memberships opening up this year, one in business, one in health, and one in SP manifestation. Eventually, I'll get rid of all private coaching and just do Voxer, just outside of the memberships, because I'll be busy with my memberships. Okay, guys. Anything else? Oh, let's see. Let's see. Jackie says Andrew Walton's book says not to be attached to your desires um, in order to manifest them. One day when you have time, can you explain more if we are supposed to be attached or not to your desires? I think it's wording. Remember, everybody's got their own belief systems. Everybody does, right? So your focus. Okay, so one of the things, and I know Nathaniel said, can you manifest a romantic relationship with? Yeah, absolutely, 100%. We do it all the time. Now that's something law of attraction world that is convoluted. That's something, because I didn't get it either until about a year and a half ago. I realized that we can, and I play around with it all the time. And so I manifest people all the time to do things. Ask my husband all the time. And I do help my clients manifest people. But it's one of the most important things to learn in business is how to manifest clients, right? And it's the same thing, manifesting people. So I specifically manifest specific people all the time to be clients. So I have a list of them. And one by one, they come calling. They come messaging me. One by one. I just check it off. And I don't talk to them. I don't message them. I don't do anything. All I do is I affirm what it is that I want. And because it's my reality. Now, after I learned it through Neville Goddard's work, I went back and looked at Abraham's work. And they do say the same thing. They just don't say it in the same wording. But they do stress the thing that you can get whatever you want wherever you are. And I had to go back and re-listen to a bunch of when it comes to specific people. So whatever your desire is with a person, you absolutely, if you have the desire, you can have it. And if you have it with a specific person, you can have it. It's a fact. You can have it. Now, a lot of people just don't dig deep. I'm a digger of the truth. So I study this stuff like most people don't. And so I just have translated it or something and figured out that you can. Like a lot of people have figured it out, but you can. But one of the things, like for business, so when I open up I'm working on the stuff right now. I'm reopening a membership that I had years ago, the Soul Aligned Business Academy, and one of the lessons is manifesting clients. And it's the same thing as manifesting people, specific people. So You decide what, your business is, what your vision is for your business, what your vision for yourself as that business owner, and then we get into the whole clients thing. So anyway, so yes. Answer is yes. So going back to um, attachment, I'll get back to you, Nathaniel, in a minute. Um, when you work on self concept, this is really important with manifesting people. When you work on your self concept, okay, so let's talk about people. This is more of the advanced level of this is the Powerful Creator Society that I'm talking about now. But when you get to people, we get attached to people. As an example, right? We get attached with money. We get attached to like this. We can get into a needy energy, right? The desperate energy that people talk about. Been there, done that. Doesn't work, right? And that's being attached to it, right? When you work on your self concept of like, I'm an amazing person, blah, 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 all these things, you lessen the attachment to that person. After a while, this is really important when you're manifesting an SP. After a while, when your self concept goes way up, you end up not really caring about that person that much. Like you kind of just don't care because you're really into yourself. And everyone is you pushed out and everything comes from you and all those good things, right? So everything is you. So it's really important to have the focus on you, put yourself on that pedestal, don't put the other person on the pedestal. And you release, like if you think of it that way, you release that attachment. But I think I understand what people are talking about when they talk about attachment, or you're letting go of like when you don't care if you don't get it and you don't care if you do get it. Like it's nice to have. If you can get into that place, which sounds like non-attachment, right? Things manifest pretty quickly. If you, but a lot of people will say it doesn't even matter. You know what I mean? I know lots of coaches that are successful with this and it doesn't really matter. But try not to get too hung up on it, because I know a lot of people will get hung up on certain things and really that just makes you hung up. Like it makes you not get any further. But because people will be like, well, what does it mean to let go? It's just like you're good if you don't have it. You know what I mean? You have to be good. Because if you're depending on if your happiness is dependent on someone else or something else, wouldn't that be attachment? Like, be happy no matter what. The unconditional happiness of like, well, yeah, I desire this, but is it the be the end all be all? If I don't have it, I won't be happy, right? A really good place to be is, I'm good either way. That sounds like non-attachment. That sounds like good self-concept of, I'm good anyway. Like, whether this person comes into my life or not, I'm still going to be happy, right? Good place to be. Took most of my life to get there. Okay, let's go. Yeah. Sandra says, you already have it, so you no longer desire it. That's my form of detachment. I'm already it. It's good. Yeah, definitely a good place to be. Okay, Nathaniel, my situation is my wife that I am currently separated with, and she doesn't love me like she used to. She said I turned into a friend. This is good to know that you can be with. So self-concept and the story. So this is why I created the manifesting zone. Okay, knowing that your thoughts, like all your thoughts, have potential to manifest, right? All your thoughts. So think of it this way. So all your thoughts have potential to manifest. What are your thoughts, right? We get into stories. What are your stories around? We don't talk about specific people, but it's all related. In the manifesting zone, it's all related. That whatever your story is, right? That's just, like the story you just told me, that's the story that's playing out. So based on the thoughts that you have. So somewhere along the line, we've all done it until we figured out what we've done, right? Then we fix it. We all have stories about our relationship. I just answered this one question earlier of like, what is the most important thing about having a great relationship? You know, my most important thing about how is having good thoughts about your person. This is reality creation, because if you don't have good thoughts about your person, whatever thoughts you have about your person is what's going to be. Because you're so powerful. You're creating your reality. Whatever you say goes. So along the line, you may not even know it because it's been a while or however long it's been, Nathaniel, that you had some thoughts. It got reflected back. Like we all have done it. Like we've all done it. Like my previous marriage was a freaking shit show. Honestly, it was the worst relationship of my life. It's a great, I mean, half that person was good, but you know what I mean? Like it was the only one that I really screwed up. And I look back at it and I'm like, Jesus, I screwed that one up. But all the fingers were pointed at my husband, right? Or ex-husband, because I pointed them. But now I look back, I'm like, yeah, I totally screwed that up. That was all me. That was all me because it's my reality, right? So it's like going through, and obviously, like, I don't know anything of your situation, but over time, when we're thinking like humans, we just have these thoughts about people in our life, right? Oh, she didn't do this. Oh, he didn't do that. Oh, he was late. Wonder what he's up to. Oh, you know, any random things. Typically based on your self concept, like the concept of yourself, of whatever's going on within you, and stories we pick up along the way, stories on stupid social media, memes that we read, dating advice that we hear that's all garbage, you know, like all these stories, TikTok stories, like all the stories we pick up along the way of relationships. Well, if this person is acting like that, oh, red flag, right? This is why when we're reality creators, we have to not pay attention to what regular humans are saying, because they're going to lead us down the road of creating a reality we don't want, just like they have, right? So like a common thing that I hear over in the crazy regular human world of dating is, if he wanted to, he would. Garbage advice. It's garbage. It's all garbage anyway. If he wanted to, he would. No, no. It's your story. It's your reality. It's your self concept. It's whatever story's playing in your head. So if you're talking, say you're a female talking to a male, and you're in your new beginnings of, you know, you met this person recently in your talking stage or something, right? You're texting each other, and then you say good morning, you don't hear anything back. It's all day long. You don't hear anything back. You're like, what are the thoughts that are going through your head? This speaks volumes of your self-concept. So if you think, I asked this question randomly in my group once in a while, just to test people to see what they're thinking. And so it's, well, what are you thinking when somebody doesn't get back to you? They haven't spoken to you all day. You text them, nothing. What are your instant thoughts? Oh, they don't like me anymore. Oh my God, they're ghosting me. See, this keeps happening. Every guy I talk to ghosts me. That's the storyline of the last few years, right? Of everybody out there. Like, oh, people just keep ghosting. Oh my God, dating in your 40s is garbage. You know, shit like that. Like we see that. I see that all the time, unfortunately. So these stories that we have playing, whatever it is, that we jump to these conclusions, right? Automatically based on whatever conditioning we've had. So we jump to these conclusions. Guess what happens? Typically, that's what happens. Oh, that person doesn't like me anymore. He's too busy, or he's talking to someone else, or he's just ghosting me. And then another day goes by because what you just said is being reflected back. Then another day goes by. You're done with it now because you're just like, they're not responding back. They're not texting me back. They're not texting me back. Listen to that. You're the reality creator. You're the powerful creator. You are the one who's saying what it is. You say what it is. What did I just say? He's not texting me back. He's not texting me back. Like the keys that you can't find. You lost your keys. You run around the house saying, I lost my keys. I lost my keys. You can't fucking find your keys, right? Because you lost them. But if you run around your house saying, I found my keys, what's going to happen? You find your freaking keys, right? You find them because you said you found them. You shift into a reality where you found your keys. It's that easy. It's the same exact thing with people. So if you say, he doesn't text me back, now it's been 3 days, now it's been a week because all I do is say he doesn't text me back. He's ignoring me. He's ghosting me, right? This is the story of nearly every regular human out there who's dating. That's the storyline. Then they go around telling all their friends that guys just ghost now. Everybody's ghosting each other. Unnecessary. It's crazy making. So you can't go around saying all the things that you don't want to say because you're so powerful that it becomes that story. So, where are we? I'm going back to. Okay. So, what do you do? What do you do when, okay, say that first day, that first morning text didn't come in? What do you say? He's going to get back to me. He's going to get back to me. No worries. You know why he's going to get back to me? Because I'm the greatest thing he's ever seen. This is self-concept, guys. This is telling the story the way you want it and speaking highly of yourself in the same sentence, same breath. He's going to get back to you. You know why he's going to get back to me? Because I'm the hottest woman he's ever laid eyes on. You know why he's going to get back to me? I'm the greatest thing he's ever seen. I'm the greatest woman he's ever met. I am absolutely the best. What do most women do? Talk down about themselves. Oh, I'm too fat. I'm too this. I'm too that. Oh my God, he's talking to 15 other women. Well, now he is because you just said he is. Now he's over on the other end. When you're affirming these bad things, guess what he's doing now? Oh, I don't know if I like her. I don't know if I like her anymore. I don't know. Let's go on Tinder and see what else is out there. Seriously, that's exactly what happens. You are so powerful. You are so in control and you probably don't know it because not many people do. So you say, I'm the greatest thing since sliced bread. This is what I said yesterday. I was saying so many tacky things yesterday. So I'm the greatest thing that any man's ever met. Now this is, I don't teach humility in my groups, but I teach high self-concept. Because what happens when you have high self-concept, when you feel really good about yourself, you love yourself, you think you're amazing, guess who else does? Everyone. The whole world will reflect back how you feel about yourself. They have no choice but to reflect back how you feel about yourself, what you say about yourself. So if you're going around thinking that any new number of bad things about yourself, the world reflects that back. And then what? You have a shitty life. Sorry. But so how do you change? Oops. So going back to turn it around. Yes. Change the story. Change the story of what it is. My wife loves me. What was, she said, you said, let's go back. She doesn't love me like she used to. She said I turned into a friend. She doesn't love me. Okay. Simple. Keep it simple. Try to forget anything that's happened in the past. I know that can be difficult, but take a couple of new affirmations. So you said she doesn't love you like she used to, and that you guys turned into friends. What is the outcome that you want? First, decide what the outcome is. You want to be back together, happy, loving, committed relationship, marriage, right? That she loves you. So create affirmations around that. Say, she is madly in love with me. Or something. Whatever language suits you. You affirm throughout the day. When you think about her, which is probably a lot, when you think about her, you say, she loves me so much. She's so in love with me. Think back to the beginning of time with her. It's a good place to be. So what you do is you don't think about the recent past. You don't think about the breakup and you don't think of whatever's gone on. Not right now. Right now you think about the very beginning. When you first met, when you were dating, it's the best time, right? When the dating phase, I think, is the best time. Although 6 years in with my husband, it's getting pretty good now. But but So you think about then. You think of any good moment, any passionate moment. Think of times that you've been together, like physically, when you're kissing, any moments that you have in your memory that is so good to you. You know what I mean? Like moments that are just passion. Think of that. When you think of that, just feel into that. Don't feel, try not to feel like sad or down about it. Live in that. Because this is what I call, what do I call this one? This is what I call deja vu manifesting. Deja vu, right? Or not deja vu. Well, yeah, because what will happen, we recreate, when we bring a memory from the past, we recreate it in the now, right? Recreate it again. So that's why when people bring it up past memories that are bad, more stuff happens that are just like that. Just like that. So you bring forward memories from the good memories from the past, bring them and dwell in that every day. Take moments throughout the day and think of those moments. And you affirm, she loves me so much. She's so in love with me. And you can also say stuff like, it's as if none of this other stuff didn't happen. Or it's as if the other stuff didn't happen. She came back in, visualize the scene that you want. She comes back in, comes to the house or calls you and says, you know what? I want to move back in, or whatever the situation is, right? Whatever the end result is that you want, create that new story. Write it every day, visualize it every day, affirm those things. The more you do it, the faster movement you will receive. And then it won't have to take that long. It'll happen. I have no doubt at all. If you can just focus on the good, let go of the old story, and just keep affirming that she loves you and she doesn't want to be apart, that she misses you so much, stuff like that. Whatever it is, she misses me so much. She loves me. She's madly in love with me. You can create a new story that's like, she wants to try again. She wants to reconcile. She wants to move back in, whatever the situation is. Just keep repeating that story. So, let's see. Brandon asked, do you really have to be not attached or just have the confidence that absolutely just the confidence? You don't have to be, you don't have to be, you definitely don't have to be anything. You're the creator, you're God, right? So whatever you say goes. So if you know your power, you can just say, no, that's going to happen. But I think when you know your power and you know that's going to happen, there's a level of detachment, right? You know it's going to happen. You don't even worry about it. You're not attached. I mean, I don't know. I just don't like some words. You know what I mean? Because I think so many people have so many different definitions of words that's how people are getting confused. Everybody has a different perception of words. We can all look it up and figure it out, but I love what I do in my business, and I don't know if I could be okay if it never happened. Oh, gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. So I think certain things help in certain situations. Does that make sense? So, like, not caring if something manifests, maybe that's helpful in certain things. Does that make sense? So you find what works for you in that moment for that situation, for that thing. But if you know it'll happen, then it'll happen. If you know your power, then you just say, oh, it's happening, or it's done, right? It's done. I know it's done. I know I am right there. This is happening right now. It's done already. Let's see. Nathaniel says, this is great. Thank you. Other relationship coaches might say I need to become an irreplaceable partner for them to fall in love with me again. No. So you can, okay, so things to probably not do, right? Don't, how do I want to word it? Don't, what time is it? Oh, Jesus. Don't text or call saying, I want to see you. I want to get back together. Let it just, you know what I mean? Like, let it go. Like, just let it be. where it is right now. This is okay. So detachment. Okay. You get me started on these words. You can detach from, oh, here we go. I got to get up soon. My butt is numb. Um, Detaching from the 3D. There we go. Detach from the the 3D. So whatever 3D version is happening right now, just say whatever. It's old news, right? It's old news. We're creating something new right now. So you let it be. Let that be where it is. Like leave it alone. Leave the 3D alone right now. Do the things you have to do. Like if you have to communicate with her, communicate with her. If you have to send a message, like you have this urge to say something, do it. You know what I mean? Inspired action is good. But what you want to do is become that version, being that confident version of yourself that she loves you. You have nothing to worry about. This may take a little bit of time for you, right? But maybe not. You're like, awesome, I'm on board. This is going to work, right? And you're just like, she's going to come running back to me. She's going to beg to be with me again. And I'm not going to do anything. I don't have to lift a finger. You don't have to lift a finger when it comes to people. They will come running to you. Just like clients, they will come running to you. Something will happen. They will get an idea. They will instantly be like, I have to work with this person. Same with SPs. Same with love people, love relationships. They can automatically or just instantly have a new thought and be like, oh my God, I miss him so much. Holy crap, I have to be with him. What was I thinking? So telepathy is real, thought transmission is real, all that good stuff. Whatever you think is what they're thinking. So you just give her new thoughts. That sounds wild, right? I thought this was all nuts in the beginning. But then I realized it's not, because I do this all the time with people and I just watch it unfold. Now, if you want to test this, everybody else who's listening, if you want to test, like, if you're trying to manifest an SP, sometimes my clients who are trying to do this, who are doing this, find sometimes their spouses can be difficult, or whoever it is that they have this big long story with. So I tell them, test it out with just random people. Visualize some new random person and what they'll tell you. Visualize something that you want from them. Visualize a conversation, some random conversation. Do this with the sales clerk at the store. Do this with whoever. And you'll eventually start having this manifest. And you're like, holy crap, this works, right? So when you have the confidence that it works, then you know that your wife is the next one and that's going to be coming back and say, you know what, I made a mistake. I'm in love with you. I never stopped loving you. You can do some revision affirmations of, she never stopped loving me. She's always loved me. She's always been madly in love with me. And I've seen so many people come back and say, their person said, no, I never stopped loving you. What are you talking about? They can have a different memory. I've spoken with my own friends that their memory changes, and I'm like, what the hell happened? That my memory didn't change, but theirs did. So she may have a different memory. If you revise things like that, simple revision affirmations of, she's never stopped loving me. She's always loved me. She's never stopped loving me. She's always been madly in love with me. She may come back and be like, yeah, I don't know. No, yeah, no. We're together. What are you talking about? It's wild stuff. Anyway, I better get going. If you want to join the manifesting zone and get more of this, excellent. But I'll be back tomorrow. But remember, the manifesting zone is only $7 a month, or you can get the lifetime membership for $77 with a bonus coaching call, or you can do all that with another coaching call on there. Look at the sign up page, sorry. And really good stuff going on. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you for the stars. Thank you for all the questions. And it's been a lot of fun. I'll be back tomorrow at 3:00. See you then, guys. Bye.